it downfield. It is. Oh, it's caught. John Moran in the clutch. Oh, my word. Oh, my God. Deep to right field. Way up there. And way out.
Down the sideline, Jefferson. Another huge run. Jalen Red broke tackle, stayed on his feet.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Blake's Take with me, Blake Neiman, and it has been a crazy run to the end of this NFL season, but the time has finally come. Week 18 has come and gone, and the ever-so-changing playoff picture is finally set in stone. This weekend, there were some crazy games that had outcomes that changed the landscape of the entire playoff race and allowed teams who were thought to be down and out throughout the entire season to find a way to overcome the odds and clinch a postseason berth. The Pittsburgh Steelers were thought to be washed and in the process of preparing for a rebuild, with this likely being Big Ben Roethlisberger's last season and there being a mix between aging veterans and upcoming young players. Despite what all the critics may say, Mike Tomlin doesn't listen to a word, and he continued to give his team a chance to make success of their season with a hard-fought battle against the Baltimore Ravens. The Steelers' defense was able to keep up with them in the hunt, with TJ Watt in particular having quite the day, tying Michael Strahan's long-lasting single-season sack record. The offense took what the defense gave them, stayed patient, and came through in the heat of the moment, finding a way to make plays behind Ben Roethlisberger, who put together a 10-play, 50-yard drive that was capped off by his own touchdown pass to Chase Claypool. And then, of course, in overtime, the Steeler defense shut the Ravens out once more, and Big Ben put together another one of his iconic game-winning drives, marching down the field to set up the win-clinching field goal by one of the most reliable kickers in the game in Chris Boswell. While the Steelers did their part, and Mike Tomlin finishes yet with another winning record, they were still going to need some help, and they got it in the most improbable way, as the worst team in the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars, were able to stun the Indianapolis Colts to knock them out of the playoffs and put the Steelers in, so long as the Chargers versus Raiders game didn't end in a tie. Speaking of which, the Las Vegas Raiders have gone through more turmoil and hardship than any other team in the league this season, after losing their head coach to email scandals and their star receiver to a horrifying drunk driving accident. Everyone thought this team and this organization was going to have to look forward into a fresh start next season. Despite the critics and all the losses to this team and all they have experienced and been through, the Raiders continued to give themselves a chance, battling game after game and finishing the season red hot with 3 straight victories, including one big one over the Colts that allowed the Raiders to control their own destiny against the Chargers. The Raiders put together a regular season finale for the ages, with jumping out to a 15-point lead behind their stud tailback Josh Jacobs, but then facing some adversity from Oregon's very own Justin Herbert, who dazzled in the fourth quarter and led an action-packed comeback that sent this game to overtime. In OT, each team would trade a pair of field goals, winding down the clock, leaving every Steelers fan sweating that the ever-growing chance that both of these teams tie and knock the Steelers out of the playoffs. But the Raiders didn't come to a tie. They came to win and walk away as the last team standing in their home stadium. The Raiders' longtime veteran QB, Derek Carr, who has been asking for his respect for so long, finally got it as he made precise passes down the stretch to keep the offense rolling beside Josh Jacobs, leading a drive that would set up the game-winning field goal as overtime expired, sending both the Raiders and the Steelers to the postseason. What an amazing turnaround for both of these teams, who have shown incredible resilience and never gave up no matter how tough circumstances looked at times. We'll see if these teams can continue to work their regular season magic in the playoffs and if they can make a run at it. So it should be interesting to see. If you enjoyed that, you can catch more on Blake's Take at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and or YouTube. I'll be covering all of the NFL action this postseason. I hope you enjoyed my covering of the action this wild NFL season. In the regular season, we had some great storylines. Tom Brady still cooking up at 44 years old. I believe he will be the MVP. Could this be Aaron Rodgers finally his way to maybe go off into the sunset into a new team and finish his era with the Packers with a Super Bowl? Who knows? We'll see how the playoffs turn out because it's a whole new game then, and I'll keep you updated right here. So subscribe and like it to make sure you are on top of it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a wonderful day.